All right, welcome everybody. Welcome to the November 2020 issue edition meeting of the Utah Valley Amateur Radio Club. Welcome to everybody. And we got a bunch of people on tonight and it looks really good. I'm glad you guys are all here. And as people join in, we've set this meeting up so that you don't have to wait in the waiting room and you could just come right on in. We do ask those who come in though. Of course, that's not going to do any good to say it now, but if they can mute their microphones. I had this set up so they automatically mute, but I don't know, it somehow got undone. Anyway, tonight I'm excited to introduce our speaker, but before that, let's go ahead and start with a couple of announcements. And I'm going to save Wendy's announcements for last because I'm hoping that she'll get on and make that announcement herself. She's actually on her way home. And so she might, hopefully she doesn't have to go too fast and risk her life. But in the meantime, I do want to say that we have a couple of things planned for the near future. I hope things go well enough that we can actually carry out those things. At any rate, so number one, I'll just take the opportunity to mention that we do have our club meeting in January 7th, I believe it is. Some of you might already remember the time when Jay Leno decided that he would pit two CW operators against two text messengers and see who actually would win that contest. And you guys, I think you know what happened as a result of that. The CWers creamed the text messengers. So, you know, I was kind of curious to see how that would turn out myself. So we are actually going to reproduce that very contest in our club meeting. So January 7th, we're going to have two expert CWers and two expert text messengers. I don't know who that would be. Anyway, so everybody's really good at texting. So that's a lot of pressure on the CW guys. And our good friend Ralph, N7RLN, K7RLN, he will be organizing that and that night. So we'll hope for the best. And we're also going to have a second presentation because that contest won't last very long. We're going to have an actual a speaker presentation that night as well. And then also we have our ugly antenna contest coming up sometime in spring. I'm hoping to nail down the time for like March or April. But this contest is so that you can make your ugliest antenna that you can. And what that means is that you have to make an antenna. You cannot store-bought this thing. You can't go to some store and pick up an antenna. You can get pieces of things you buy at the store, but I need you to actually make an antenna and have to demonstrate it in a club meeting that it actually works. And demonstrating it across the room doesn't count. It has to work outside the city block that you're on. And then we'll have a lot of fun with that. So repeaters are okay. If your signal can reach through your antenna to a repeater and to talk to somebody else, you're good to go. So anybody who enters into this contest can win a prize, and prizes will be much, much more substantial than a roll of tape, guaranteed, but there will be a grand prize. And maybe I should hedge my bet, right? The grand prize of this time is going to be a Yaesu 840, Yaesu FT840 HF rig. So there you have it. I've spilled the beans on that. That's our grand prize for that contest. And yeah, it works. So so as you know, an 840 is not a brand new machine. It's kind of old, but this one will actually work. I've made sure that it works great for you. So whoever wins the contest, there you go. And there are several other things that we've had planned that were kind of tabled. So, you know, that's the way it goes. So right now, it looks like Wendy has joined us. So Wendy, I'm going to turn the time over to you for your December announcement. Go ahead and take it away.
Okay, can you hear me?
We can hear you just fine. Thank you.
Okay, super. So we have been informed by the Linden Community Center that they have canceled all activities at their location So we will need to find a contingency plan for the holiday party that we had planned. We will figure out something because literally it was less than an hour ago that we were notified. And so if anybody would like to do a presentation or any ideas we could throw around, please contact myself or Nochi.
Hey, Wendy.
Yeah.
I do have one idea. It's a far-fetched idea, but it could work. My clubhouse here at the HOA is pretty big. It's about the same size as it would be in we would be at in Linden. I could talk with our HOA, and for it costs $25 to reserve the clubhouse.
Why don't you find out if it's available Thursday the 3rd or Friday the 4th of December, and we will talk about it.
Okay, so what were those dates again?
December 3rd or 4th.
Okay, I will talk to the person that takes care of the clubhouse.
That would be awesome.
We could call it a nonviolent riot, and we could do it anywhere.
Come again, Carl?
We're having a lot. We'll make it a live protest against the fee that the FCC wants to charge. Therefore, we can have a gathering of 10 or more if it's a protest.
That was kind of my idea.
How about that field in Saratoga where they had that party last Saturday?
They'll never suspect a thing.
And if it gets too cold out, we can burn something down.
True that. Yep. Okay. I can see we have all kinds of great ideas tonight. So thanks. And thank you, Wendy, for taking the courage to make that announcement. I know how painful it is because we've been looking forward to doing it for such a long time.
Hey, Wendy. Sorry, Nochi, can I just interrupt one more time?
You already did. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Would you like for me to contact you or Noji when I find out about the clubhouse?
Nochi, please.
What?
Okay.
Fine. I'll just redirect to her once I get it, but that's fine. Thanks, Brent. All right, I'm going to stick my neck out now and then and assume something. So, Carl, if I can, please, could you kindly announce the 76ers Santa Net?
Well, I could. December 23rd and 24th at what time we talked?
6 to 7:30, I think.
What time? 6 to 7:30?
Yeah.
The Santa Net will happen on the 146.760 repeater, the UVARC repeater, and it will also be available on the Western Reflector. So you can get in there from anywhere, maybe even star K7 PV star on Echolink. So shouldn't stop anybody from getting in and get in there and have fun with the kids, and we'll make it happen. It's been a tradition for about 8 years now, and so it'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, so, Carl, do you have to be a licensed ham to check in and talk to Santa?
Well, you got to have a licensed operator in the shack there, but anybody can check in. Anybody in any age, but make sure there's a licensed operator in the shack, and we just go third party.
Very cool. And how old do you have to be?
You got to be born.
All right, I think most of us qualify. All right, thank you, Carl, very much. Announcement for the Santa Net. Excited for that, for sure. And, yep. All right, so here's how we're going to proceed now. We're going to go ahead and turn the time over to Jeremy. And following Jeremy's presentation, we will go ahead and have the door prizes following Jeremy's thing. So, and by way of just short announcement, I don't know everything about Jeremy. He's a great friend. He's been an Elmer. He's been a helper. He's been a good friend and everything for a long time. And Jeremy is one of the leadership in the Utah County Amateur Radio Emergency Service. And he's just been a great guy to help people learn how to participate in emergency drills, call outs, and other things really relating to ham radio as it pertains to ARES, the Amateur Radio Emergency Service. But he will probably tell you a lot more than I do about all that. So with that, Jeremy, are you ready to go ahead then?
I can do that.
Okay, take it over, please.
Get this shared, and you can tell me if you can see everything. Let's see. How's that look? Everybody able to see it okay?
Yeah, wonderful.
It looks great.
Right. Give a little bit more of a background. I've had my license for about 20 years now. There are definitely some of you on here that have been around longer and some that haven't been quite as long. But about 25 years ago, I was a scoutmaster out in the middle of nowhere with a bunch of 11-year-olds and 12-year-olds, and the other adult that was along with us to make sure everything was all good and fine, got out his radio and started talking to people on repeaters. And I looked down at my cell phone, which was completely dead, and realized, this could come in handy if we are ever stuck. And so I got into the amateur radio, and sure enough, it saved my bacon 2 times now. But Noji asked me to do up a presentation on the local Utah County ARES group, a little bit of what's it about, why it's important, and that sort of thing. There are definitely some people in the group that have been in it for a while and are familiar with it. So if I miss anything, feel free to speak up and correct me and that sort of, and add things. But with that, we'll go ahead and move forward. First off, just talking about what is ARES and what it's about. It stands for Amateur Radio Emergency Services. The national site or the national organization is run through the ARRL, though you do not have to be an ARRL member to be a member of ARES. Basically, it's a way of coordinating a group with of ham radio operators who are willing to work with the local areas in cases of emergencies happening. People responded with hurricanes, people responded with earthquakes, floods. We've been the only form of communication for a good number of things. Back when there was a hurricane you might have heard about called Katrina, where the ham radio operators were the main source of communication in and out of the in Louisiana, New Orleans area, and things like that. As at a national level, they provide a kind of a checklist of certifications you can go through to say, okay, these are the courses I've taken, this is the equipment I have, and this is what I can do. One of the reasons behind that is pretty straightforward. A lot of people like to volunteer and help out, and it's a way of getting those people that want to help out trained. It's also a way of providing insight for the national organization, FEMA, NIMS, or the other responders that come in, so they know who they can rely on, who's going to actually be helpful, and who's may cause more problems and be somebody that needs rescued. So it's just a way of coordinating the different levels. But like I said, there's a national level. Basically, they're doing all of the paperwork and things. You don't have a call out where they will call out everybody in the nation. That is left to the local levels. But they do the organization and keep things in moving, keep us informed of the FCC regulation changes, and keep things organized. At the local level, things happen at the state and county levels. At the state, there are a couple of organizers up in Salt Lake, the state emergency coordinators. My information may be a little bit dated. I understand there was a change here a little bit ago, but Mel Parks and Tyler Griffiths We're the two emergency coordinators at the state level. And what they do is they talk to and communicate with the emergency coordinators at the county level, have monthly meetings and follow up, see how everybody's doing, make sure everything's on track, and that everybody is able to meet and do what they need to get done. With Utah County, you've got several old ECs in the group here with UVARC. Michael Pruce is the current emergency coordinator, and the rest of us on the list there are the assistant emergency coordinators doing different things between managing membership, coordinating with the different cities' emergency operations centers, handling the interface, and net managers. Let's see. So moving on to how it's relevant to us. One of the biggest things that keeps amateur radios having the bandwidth to be able to use the airwaves is the amount of public service that we do. Whether it's helping out with parades, whether it's being called out when there's an emergency, fire, earthquake, flood, et cetera, et cetera. Emergency service has been the main thing that people recognize and keep for keeping the bands open. So when the bands aren't being used, you've got a lot of commercial entities that are more than willing to pay off the FCC or a senator or whoever they need to get things shut down so that they can get a license to operate in the bands in question. It is a finite resource. There are only so many spots on the magnetic spectrum or the spectrum. So every little bit that we can use and use regularly will help keep us going. And every little bit that we can help the communities around us keeps us in the spotlight and reminds people that, hey, yes, we actually do still have a hobby here that does serve the public interest. And we need to be able to keep this open and available for people to use. Now, if you're interested in getting involved, a couple ways of doing it. First, our website, www.ucares.org. There is a sign up link on there where you can enter your information to sign in. Basically, the only requirement to join is you have your ham radio license. Our nets we have on Tuesday nights on 14734. Though Mike does like switching up the secondary repeater and occasionally switches up the first one, but our primary repeater is 14734. And what you need to do is be willing to help out every once in a while, whether it's sitting along the side of parade route and being able to help us track down lost kids or lost parents, watching the perimeters on some of the fireworks in the area, other things helping the community. There are always bike rides that, or the bike races where they need ham radio operators, and marathons and other things where the radio operation is a very key aspect of it.
Jeremy, question?
Yep.
Tuesday nights at what time?
Oh, 7 o'clock or 9 o'clock p.m.
Thank you.
Yep. Mountain Standard Time or Mountain Time. Okay. Now there've been I mentioned it a little bit with levels of certification. Basically, what the levels of certification do is set up a way so that you can keep track of where you're at and what's going on and how things are going. We've divided it up into the 4 main levels with 2 additional that correspond relatively closely to national, although national has a couple more courses for the emergency coordinators to take. First one doesn't even require an online course. It's just getting your basic equipment up, attending nets, visiting an emergency operations center. It just gets you set up and ready to participate in an event. You don't need level 1 to be able to go out and help with a parade. Though if you've got it, and you've got the equipment, it goes a long way to being helpful. Then it goes on as you build up through, where you go from being participating to supporting it to being responsible, having a responsible role where you're somebody that's sent out to help manage some of the others, or you're getting more senior and you understand what's going on. And then the level fourth sets you up so that you can be the one that is called in or helps run things with net control or coordinates communication with the different cities and whatnot. Now, I will bring up one thing here about why these are important. There have been a couple incidents in the county, well, actually all across the US, but I know one in the county where there's an emergency coordinator with the city where that was their job, where it was approached by a new guy, had his technician's license. He's like, I'm a ham radio operator. I want to come in and help. You need to rely on me for the city. And I'll be the one you contact and helps communicate and all that. And you applaud their enthusiasm. You realize there are reasons for working as a group and getting familiar with people. And one of the nice things with these levels of certification, as you work through them, you meet a lot of people. You will meet people from Linden or Saratoga Springs or Eagle Mountain or Provo or Orem or Springville or Payson or all these other places, and you establish relationships, and you're able to establish a level of trust where you know who they are, they know who you are, and you're able to coordinate a whole lot more smoothly. Now, quick run through on the levels of certification. First one, as I mentioned, was pretty straightforward. You register, you do that online, get set up with the Aries Connect, we'll get you an ID card, and then your equipment. It used to be, your HT was going to cost you $300 to $500 to get going, big expense. Now things have dropped drastically in price. I highly recommend the dual band 2 meter 70 centimeter, but if all you've got is the 2 meter, it's good enough to get going. Battery packs, binders, just like this. All of this information is available from the ucares.org website. So you can download it and grab it. And I'll cover some of the details about why a little bit later. But it's basically everything you need to be able to participate in an event and get going. One thing I can highly recommend that is listed here for if you're interested in going out and helping in the events. The first one is the earpiece or the earphone for the handheld radio. If you're at a parade, it is almost impossible to hear if you don't have the earpiece in and you're just listening to the radio without anything. The sirens are loud, the crowd is loud. You need the earpiece. And the backup battery pack is great because if your battery may be charged to start with, but if you do a lot of talking, the little HTs tend to suck up the juice real quick. So
Jeremy, what do you put in these blank lines here? Is it just like a check? Like I have that?
The date you got it. Just
The date. Okay.
fill in the date and initial that you've got it, and you're good to go.
And if you already have all that equipment, you can just say
Just fill
the
it
date
out.
you sign up.
Yep, exactly.
Thank you.
No problem. Yeah, as you fill these out, it's kind of an honor system. Fill it out as you go. If there's an emergency and you just initialed things off without actually having the equipment, it could make things a little difficult. But we trust you for the most part. You're there, you're wanting to help and volunteer and whatnot. The level 2 certification is where the training starts. There's a NIMS course. It's an introduction to the ICS system. Actually run through by FEMA. You can find it if you go to FEMA.org or just do a Google search for ICS 700B. These courses do change every once in a while. It was just 700 when I started. I think it's 700A and now B, but there are other courses as well. And then a little bit more of an expanded kit. Level 1 was you can go out and participate. Level 2 is you go out and be a little bit more supportive. If somebody forgot their cabling, or if you needed to set up a more remote antenna or a high gain antenna, you've got things you can connect up for the different radios and move forward there. One of the things I'd love to see on the list that we're not requiring is a little pocket soldering iron, because there have been a number of times where I've been out at an event or something and somebody's portable antenna had a bit of a problem with the solder joint, needed repaired. So, the basic things you can do and repair and have available. Plus, again, the bottom one on the list there, the personal first aid kit, 2 quarts of water, $20. Just stuff so that if you're out and about, you can take care of yourself. Since when we're serving the community, we need to be able to take care of ourselves as well. But 3 and 4 are mainly focused on the additional training with just a little bit more hardware. Moves on to a mobile radio instead of just the HT, so that you can get out a lot further. There's a big power difference between a 5-watt and a 50-watt radio, and how far the signal is able to go and what it's able to punch through. Numerically wise, it's a lot less equipment where you're working with the power poles and the splitters and fuses compared to all the adapters and cables that you built on before. But these ones are also more important whenever you get out into remote locations and need to be able to connect to any type of a power source. We also have the introduction to the incident command system course. It's another NIMS course, ICS 100. And we want people to get involved with CERT. It's, I don't know how many of you are familiar with it, but it's your Citizens Emergency Response Team. It's where you learn what to do in case of an emergency at your neighborhood level. How you organize block captains, who the block captain is, who you're working with, how to jack up a house and pull people out from it, and how to go through the different pieces and parts of handling an emergency. So we've made that part of the level 3 certification. It's like about a 6-week course or a 2-weekend course, depending on how you do it, and highly recommend it. Even if you decide not to get into ARES, it's extremely good information to have and available and to know in the event of an emergency. And then finally, the 4th level, 2 additional NIMS courses, making sure you've got your 70 centimeter covered. The gel battery, 10 amp hour minimum. I highly recommend closer to 30 to 50 amp hours as a minimum, but the 10 amp hour on an HT will last you a couple days. On a mobile, not so much. But the lights and everything else, very good stuff to have. This way, when you're needing to run stuff in the dark and you're needing to communicate with everybody, you've got what you need. But the sheriff's office and several other emergency groups in the area actually need us to go through the NIMS courses to be able to out, so we're not a liability at some of the call outs. So that's why those training courses are in there. Let's see. We summed it up, but here's a nice list of them all for those that want to take notes really quick. There is a national, the NIMS is a nationally recognized set of courses that's consistent all across the US. FEMA runs the courses. Most of them are available online. You just sign up, jump in, take the class. Some of them will take you an hour or two. Others can take you a whole week or two to work through in your spare time. But it gives you an overview of how the emergency system or the emergency system works with the emergency operation centers, and who you talk to, who runs it, how you could wind up running it if you're not careful, or even if you are careful, and how things go at that level. And then finally, people were wondering about our equipment requirements. If you go back through the list, it'll give you a list of everything, but the main things to remember: you want a mobile radio or the HT so you can pick it up and take it with you. You want your mobile so you can get out and reach and touch people. For the antennas, you want a good mag mount. Your car works great as a Faraday cage, so that if you're trying to broadcast or receive on your HT while you're inside the car, it's got a lot of restrictions or electrical blocks. But if you have the mag mount on the outside of the vehicle, it makes a world of difference in getting out. Somebody have a question? I'm hearing a lot of, okay, oh, just static. Okay. Cables, adapters, you cannot have enough, sometimes you cannot have enough or too much cabling to get to a remote location. If you need to put an antenna up on the side of a mountain, you need to be down at the base of the mountain. You run, if you got a couple people there that all have their bag, you can run a couple 100 feet of cable and you're good to go. Not all radios have the same adapters on them. Some are BNC, some are SMA, some are reverse SMA, some are SO239. Lots of different adapters. So if you can take anything from one type of an adapter to go to anything on another type, it helps it so people can connect up and use your equipment if they don't have all of their adapters, or you can connect them up and use theirs if they've got something odd set up. This makes it easier for being able to respond and use the equipment without having a lot of duplicate equipment set up. And then always highly recommend the go bag, keep it up to date. If it's coming on winter, you want to put in a jacket and long pants, a good warm shirt, things like that. Doesn't do you any good if you have an emergency happening in the middle of January and the last time you update it, you threw in shorts and a tank top. But so keep things up to date, keep things fresh. Highly recommend the MREs for food. Also recommend cycling through them every year. The candy and stuff in it does start to turning odd colors after a couple of years and may not be, well, they're not always all that edible to begin with, but they're less edible as time goes on. So keep it up to date and use it and find out what you like and keep the stuff you like in there and you'll be good to go. In general, that's UCARES. Most of what we do locally is work with the SCAT team, the sheriff's office, the different towns. We'll be on, got some of the best seats in the world for the fireworks watch in Orem and Spanish Fork. As we're watching the perimeter, we're out with the parades. We've got less than 2-minute average return time between reuniting a lost, when the parent notices the kid is missing and getting the kid back to them at the Freedom Festival. There's just a lot going on in the area that we work with, and it's a chance to use the radio and serve the communities. Any questions?
Will this information be posted somewhere on the club's website?
It's available right now through prezi.com, but I'll make sure I send Noji the link and he can get it out to anybody who wants to look at it.
That'd be great. That'd be great because I'm very interested.
Okay, we'd love to have you.
Thank you.
We have contacted our local group. We've sent 5 or 6 emails now and have not received anything from the Springville. What is it called? The girls people. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. The local group.
I'm most of the city wide groups. Hate to say it, but they come and go real quick. You get a couple of people that are really excited about it, then they disappear. The one exception to that seems to be Woodland Hills and Eagle Mountain. Oh, 2 exceptions.
Okay.
Woodland Hills and Eagle Mountain. So
if we're not careful, we'll end up running it.
What was that? Sorry.
If we're not careful, we'll end up being in charge.
Yeah, exactly. Really easily.
Are you talking about the CERT course?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, CERT is different. That one you want to talk to Karen Alarcon on.
Okay.
Can we get her contact information?
KG7UUR@ucares.org.
KG7.
KG Kilo Golf
Yeah.
7
Mm-hmm.
Uniform Romeo.
Yep.
Hey, Jeremy,
Yes.
Thanks.
I believe who they need to talk with is Joanna Larson. She's in charge of the cert for Springville.
Oh, is she now? Okay.
Yeah, she's just this year got charge of that.
So that name sounds familiar. I'm pretty sure that's who we've been sending emails to. So does she
Yeah.
have a call sign?
No, she's not a ham,
Oh.
but she's a cert organizer for Orem and Springville. If you'd like to, you can email me and I can give you all her information and so forth.
Okay, we'll do that. Thanks, Noji. Thanks.
You know my email address and everything, right?
Yes.
Okay, thanks.
All right.
I have a question.
Sure.
Do you need to be a member of UCares in order to post on the website? Because I sent a request like last month and I haven't heard anything back.
You know, let's take care of that right now. This last month has been absolutely nuts for me, so I'm a little bit behind on getting things updated. Let's see, what was your name?
Scott Armstrong. My call sign is Whiskey Sierra 7 Romeo Juliet Tango.
Whiskey Sierra 7 Romeo Juliet Tango.
Yes, I sent a request to post replies on UCares and I've never heard back.
I will get that checked in. And I do apologize
Okay.
for the delay. This last month has been absolutely nuts.
Okay, thank you. I've just about, I think I've gotten everything ready for level 1 certification. I was just wondering, I was just trying to figure out why I never received a reply on that. Because I would like to, because a couple of months ago, we talked about nationwide, there's a website where you can volunteer. We talked about like 2 months ago or maybe last month. I was wanting to ask a question about what that website was again. I think it was ARL volunteering, what to do when you're not an ARL member, but still want to volunteer. I wanted to ask a question about what that website was again, but
Okay, I'll have to.
if
I
you'll
don't
clear
have
that
the
up.
URL memorized right now, but I'll look it up and we can get that posted. And then I know Mickey's got one set up for Utah, the utahsag.org, that keeps a pretty good running list of what's going on in the state for people that are looking for a way to volunteer.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. Any other questions?
I did have one question.
Okay. Chase?
With the pandemic going on right now, how are we taking care of the EOC visits for the?
We're locked down to just 2 people in at a time. And that's in Springville and Provo, and the rest they've basically asked everybody to stay away unless there's a full emergency that needs us. So we've built up a lot of relationships with the different EOCs over time. But for the last little while, it's just been an occasional visit here and there. If you need to get into visit an EOC, Karen or I can help get you into the Provo one, and Michael Pruce can help you get into the Springville one.
Okay, fantastic, thanks.
Anybody else?
I just wanted to ask you, this is W6MJH. I just wanted to ask you if you knew what MRE stood for. It stands for Meals Rarely Eaten.
Yeah.
So
that's a little more politically correct than the one I learned.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah. But anyway, it's good to have something to eat.
Yeah, it is.
As opposed to nothing.
And honestly, the spaghetti's not bad. The chili's okay, but you'll be neighbors will know that one for a couple days. It's, yeah, they've gotten a lot better than they used to be.
Yeah.
Jeremy,
Thank you.
Yes.
it sounds like you're not getting MREs, you're getting totems, TOTMs.
Okay.
Okay, the difference is totems are only good for about 18 months and MREs are good for about 10 years.
Okay.
If it's got candy in it, it's a totem.
All right. The one I had was they've got this. They had the sealed MRE packages, and then it had the whole came with that Snickers that was long since expired, a little coffee packet, and some other basics.
That sounds like a totem because they really don't put candy in MREs anymore. Unless
Okay.
it's specifically required.
Sounds good. I'll keep an eye on that. Okay. Anybody else?
Hey, Jeremy, just a question. Well, actually, a comment here.
Yeah, so you've probably got more answers than I do. So go for it, Keith.
No,
What do you
no. This is, you've done an excellent job on your presentation. I have no questions or anything about that. You did an excellent job. I just wanted to mention that from the UCARES and SCAT team repeater committee, a team went up and got the 2.8 repeater back on the air this evening.
Oh, excellent.
Or this afternoon. So so that's available for use and for people to test it out. They actually replaced the repeater and the controller. So it's a whole new system.
So was it a lightning strike or what was it that took it out?
We don't know for sure until we dig into the old radio. That is our oldest repeater. It has been on the air continuously for somewhere between 30 and 35 years, and it has just been a rock solid radio. It's about a 40-year-old Motorola repeater, and so regardless, it had a problem and it was time. So the repeater has been replaced and the controller, and it has been connected up so that it can be linked into the rest of our linking system. So I just wanted to throw that out as information for the group. Thanks.
Thanks for jumping in with that. Okay. Any other questions or comments? Okay. In that case, Noji, turning it back over to you.
All right, Jeremy, thank you so much for taking that time and preparation and everything you do for us, especially on the UCARES front and now on this little presentation tonight. So thank you, Jeremy, very much. Yeah, Jeremy, I've looked up to him for quite a long time. He's a great guy. Highly recommend talking with him sometime and getting to know him. If you know Jeremy, you've got a good friend for sure. So thank you, Jeremy. All right. He's trying to talk.
Oh, he's muted there. Yeah, anytime, no problem at all.
All right. Okay, so let's go ahead and move into the door prize section. One thing I just now mentioned to Trevor here, I neglected to do is to display or announce the new hams and the upgrades this month. And darn it, I left them all at home, so I don't have that with me here. So anyway, if you are somebody who has recently gotten his license or her license in the last month since our last club meeting, well, congratulations to you and welcome to the club. And we certainly welcome you here, and we'd love to have you. So thanks for joining us. And darn it, I wish I could put your name up in lights like I promised and celebrate you, but maybe we'll have to do an extra one next month just to make sure. Depending on what our format's going to be. At any rate, okay, so Brent, if you are ready, you want to go ahead and take over the door prizes then, sir?
Yes, sir.
All right.
First of all, can you guys hear me?
What?
Okay, so same thing as last time. I have everyone's information in this bowl, folded over. I will mix it. Oh, wait, actually, I got to get the door prize information. Okay, so our door prizes tonight are a signal stick dual band antenna, a work light, an ARRL annual membership, a dual band handheld receiver, and of course, a Pocris J pole. All right, so we're gonna start with the signal stick dual band antenna. So I'm just gonna mix these names in here and pull one out at random. 2022, Giovanni Guzman, KJ7OST. Giovanni? Giovanni, are you still with us?
He may have left already.
Yeah,
Wait, no, did I pull out another name or?
Giovanni was on earlier, and he might have had to step out for a phone call or something. So you can probably come back to him in a few minutes. But I mean, he's such a new guy, and he's such an enthusiastic ham. I'd give it to him, whatever it is you're planning on, give it to him. You know.
Okay, it's the signal stick, the signal stick dual band antenna.
Perfect. I think he'd love it.
Yeah. Okay. So congrats, Giovanni, when you come back. Second door prize is the work light.
We all need one of those for our UCares kit, right?
5271, Bill Clough.
Good thing to have.
Hey, that sounds awesome. Thank you. Can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you, Bill.
Congratulations, Bill.
No, G, that's 5271 KG6GL, Bill Clough.
Very good. Thank you.
Okay, prize number 3 is the ARRL annual membership. Okay, let me show you guys. I'm mixing all the names in here. $1952, Dan Gale.
What do you know?
N7RRY.
I didn't see Dan show up on the meeting, but he could still be there. He could be here.
I don't know. This is quite the prize. Hey, Dan, are you still with us?
We need someone to hum the Jeopardy theme. Uh-oh, here it goes.
I thought that's what you had Trevor for.
No, do you still want it to go to Dan, or do I pick out a different person?
Let's get it to someone else.
Okay.
I want this thing to be used tonight.
Okay. $1993, Jeremy Estes or Estate or
Estes.
1993, Jeremy Estes, KJ7HRN.
All right. 3 times. All right.
Okay.
Must be present to win.
Yep.
His name's on there, but he's not saying anything.
Jeremy's on now.
He's saying he's got no sound.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Jeremy,
Okay.
you won. Yay.
Okay, so Noji for the ARRL annual membership, that's 1993, Jeremy Estes.
Okay.
Okay, congratulations, Jeremy. And now we go to our 2 main prizes, first of which is the dual band handheld transceiver. Oops. Okay.
Yeah, so sorry, Dan.
Okay. Well, it's not my name, Noji. Can I put it back and try again?
Sure, next month.
8877, Matt Bowler.
All right. I didn't
Matt,
see
are
him.
you still with us?
He might be with us.
I might actually get that second chance after all.
10 seconds, Matt. Right, time's up.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's some good singing there, Brent. Thanks.
I didn't know if you could even hear me or not.
Please don't quit your day job, Brent.
Yeah, yeah.
Come on now.
This is day job.
Nobody asked you. Well, I can tell you guys this, it is still not me. 1512, Chase Palmer.
Oh, there you go.
Chase, are you still with us?
I am here.
I was gonna say I'd pay you $20 to say that you weren't, so I could draw again, but
I'm here. I'm here.
okay. Noji, that's 1512, Chase
Very
Palmer,
good.
and that's for the dual band handheld receiver.
Right, and if Chase can't use it, he can always let his son Kason use it.
Hey, all right.
He's been looking for a radio. He's going to be the youngest ham ever licensed.
Dang straight.
All right. Here we go. The last door prize is the Puckrus J-Pole. Okay. 4540, Jeremy Stallard.
No way.
All right.
Our man of
Way
the
to
hour.
go, Jeremy.
Is Jeremy Stallard with us?
You're muted still, Jeremy.
Oh, thanks. I say go ahead and draw another number. I've already got a half dozen of them that I've built, and my wife's going to shoot me if I bring any more in. So.
Okie dokie.
Wait a minute, he doesn't have one of mine.
There's that.
If you were Jeremy's wife, would you want Carl in the house?
I won't touch that
mask on. I
one.
don't know.
That's up to you, Jeremy.
Go for it. Let's give somebody else a shot.
All right.
1, 2, 3, 4. James Brown.
He's on YouTube.
Yep. James is there, so he's got it. James, you won the J-Pole.
All right, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4. W7JHB. James Brown for the J-Pole. We have two. Hey, Giovanni, are you with us again? Okay, so Giovanni Noji is 2022. He had the signal stick.
Yep.
Okay, and then James Brown had the Puckrus J-Pole.
Yep.
Bill Clough had the
work light.
Yep, the work light. Thank you. Drew a blank there for a minute. Jeremy Estes had the dual band, or was it the dual band, or was it the
He got the
ARRL?
membership.
Okay, yep. So 1993, Jeremy Estes had the ARRL membership, and then 1512, Chase Palmer had the
Transceiver.
dual band.
Yep.
Okay, that's up all 5. Congratulations to everyone that won. Oh, Gary. Yeah,
Gary.
I didn't keep my promise. My bad.
All right. Thanks, Brent. Appreciate it.
Thank you, everyone.
All right. With that, everybody, we're going to go ahead and conclude this meeting. And thanks to everybody for being on here tonight. And thanks especially to for Trevor for setting this up for us and getting this going. I really appreciate his effort, his workspace, and everything he does every month, every day. In fact, Trevor does a lot of things behind the scenes you guys are not aware of. And we really appreciate all his technology and his knowledge and everything he does on behalf of the club. And we also want to thank Brent. Thanks for doing the door prizes, and Wendy and Carl for making their announcements. Happy or sad as they might be, but appreciate all the work everybody's done. And thanks to everybody for being on tonight. Jeremy Stallard, thank you again for a great presentation. Appreciate that. Until next month, 7-3 to all.